I have a question about Four Loko. So they used to have caffeine, and then they got into a lot of trouble. Were there less regulations at the time when you were thinking about coming out with the caffeine beer? And did they shut that down as far as caffeinated malts or beers?
Yeah, so what happened is I actually came out before Four Loko did, and Dr. Wades and I had a patent in 4 countries in the process of adding caffeine to beer and ale. And he was in his 80s, and he was sick. He was dying. And he gave me a name of another brewing consultant that I should use. Because I'm not the brewer, but I know enough to be dangerous. But I'd like to, ride herd on the analytics, etc. And that particular person gave the process of adding caffeine to beer and ale that we had patented to Four Loko.
Wow.
And Panther Juice. And what they did was, it was a speedball in a can. It was 12% alcohol by volume, 259 milligrams of caffeine. I mean, like a speedball. And they got us all shut down, and I got caught in the net. And I went I fought it all the way up to the head of the FDA, which rides herd over caffeine, whereas the TTB, right, which is a Division of Homeland Security, they ride herd over alcohol. So the TTB had approved my mark on 4 different occasions. It was the FDA that had to come in and end around the caffeine. And they knew it. I held up a bottle of a bottle of Moonshot and a can of Four Loko, and I just said, really? Like, these aren't even in, they're fruits, but they're just not even the same.
Yeah.
And they said, no matter what you come back to us with, you're done.
Why? Why did they not allow it?
So if you go to the TTB website, we're the only things that have been really banned since Prohibition, which is ridiculous, Trace amounts of caffeine. So instead of regulating parts per million of caffeine to percentage of alcohol, they just outright banned it.
Do they think it's dangerous?
They thought it was dangerous.
But it's less than a cup of coffee, is what you're saying.
Well, what they should have done is to regulate it. I mean, that's what they do, is they regulate drugs and things, right? They regulate what we put into our body. At least they try. But 42% of America is obese, so I don't know, go figure that. But I had 5% alcohol by volume and 69 milligrams of caffeine. That tasted like beer, looked like beer, sold where beer is sold, etc. Four Loko had 12% alcohol in one can, plus 259 milligrams of caffeine. It was yellow and red dye.
They're lethal.
They should have regulated parts per million of caffeine to percentage alcohol, and I would have fallen well below that. But right now, Boston Harbor Distillery makes a coffee liqueur, which is 46 proof, which is 23% alcohol, and more caffeine than Moonshot ever had. But that's legal because it tastes like coffee.
You're still pissed.
I'm still freaking pissed. Yes, I am. Because it was so good. It was so good. But you know what?
Sounds like a great idea, too.
Everything has a silver lining, because that company, I had to shut it down in 2011. They banned Moonshot. I could have kept Edison going. I had just lost heart of the beer business. I had really been at the forefront of it for decades. And I wasn't getting any support. And I just needed to shut it down and go on with my life. But it led me to Boston Harbor Distillery. So there's a silver lining in everything.